Hello, welcome to the Woodturning Podcast. My name's Mark.
And my name is Will. Welcome.
And I am Garry. How you doing?
In this episode, I break down on my way to Simon Hope's. Gary's got himself a new big lathe, and Will starts playing with a 3D printer.
Hello, gents. Welcome.
Good evening.
How are we all?
Good. You?
Not the best start of the year, but all good.
Not the best start. What have you been up to, Mark?
I'll go first. I was on my way to Simon Hope's, and my van broke down just as I was joining the A12.
Oh,
A130 to A12 junction up the slip road, and it packed up. Our RAC came out and diagnosed a cam belt failure. He took the cam cover off, and there was two ends of this cam belt no longer joined together.
Oh, no. Sounds expensive.
He towed us off to, what's the services, a couple of junctions up towards Garry, the big one up that way, near the post office depot. Anyway, pulled us off there, and we spent the next 4 hours waiting for a pickup truck to take us home.
Beautiful.
So my beautifully planned trip to go to Simon's to go and spend some money didn't happen until the next day. I've had to call.
You did get there eventually then?
I did get there eventually. I nearly took a different route just in case. I'm not superstitious, but when you think, do I really want to drive up that slip road and break another car? But no, I got to Simon's. I picked myself up.
I didn't fix it.
No, still haven't got it. No, I only got the quote today. It took 6 of the 8 valves out. The head itself is fine, so it's going to be valve replacement. The cam shafts need replacing as well because they're worn, but it's done 250,000 kilometers. For some reason, it's set to Ks rather than miles, so it's done 250,000 Ks. And I've got a horrible feeling it's possibly the original cam belt.
What's 250,000 K? Must be what, 180,000 miles? Is that something like that?
Something like that. I don't know. I just read what it says on the screen.
Yeah,
but
definitely due for a cam belt change.
It was one of those. I had plans to get it replaced, and then hindsight is a wonderful thing. Should have done it last year rather than this year. It is what it is. It's going to have to be done. I need the van back because I'm down in Southampton at the end of the month, so I do need it back.
So apart from a massive garage bill,
I had a massive Simon Hope bill. No, I was very good. I had £100 voucher from Mum and my brother for Christmas for Simon's, and £100 for my grandmother-in-law, and that's all I spent. Exactly 200 quid at Simon's. I bought the carving jig, which sits in the banjo of the lathe, and it's a multi-swivel head. So while I'm doing the arm bowls, I can move things around to make things a bit easier. Bought that. I haven't ever owned a jacket thingy. What are they called? Smock, that's the word. So I bought one of his smocks. And what else did I buy?
Do you want it branded?
Oh, it's Simon Hope branded, but I've got various badges going on it. I'm going to put the tree carcass branding on it as well. Okay. The other thing I bought, we saw it at Darren Breeze had it at the demo last month. I've got his interchangeable sanding system. So it's a quick release bit that goes into the drill. And then it came with 6 interchangeable sanding heads. So you can have the different grits ready to go, and you just swap the end out. And then you just go with the next one and swap the end out. So I bought those 3 bits, so that was nice. A few new toys. I haven't had that in a while.
Did he do your deal? Bear in mind you had £200 exactly, and you spent £200 exactly. Did you look around the shop to see what added up to £200? Approximately 220, and say, Simon, I've got £200 only. What can you do? You got?
Well, I did us a deal for the sanding kit, the jig, and some activator. That I needed some activator as well. And then I still had 40 quid left, because that all came to 160. I still have 40 quid. And I went and had Derek took me out into the workshop area because I wanted to know how to sharpen their negative rake scrapers, because I've got one, but I haven't sanded it yet. So he took me out into the workshop, showed me how to do that, which was kind of him. And then I was like, I could really go for a smock. They're nice looking bright blue smocks. And they were 40 something. Say again?
I can pretend I work for Simon.
No, I'm in 2 minds whether I'm going to cover that up or not, because it's a big badge that sits quite predominant. But
no, I've filled your money up with that then.
Yes, with a schmock. I haven't worn it yet. I think I'm going to save that for demos.
I've got 2 actually, and I wear mine all the time. I've got one short sleeve one and one long sleeve one, and I do use them all the time.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't use it very often.
Then I'll tell you what, if on a rare occasion I don't put one on when I go down there, I'm forever bloody reaching my back pocket, which I don't have if I ain't got it on. And it's so annoying. I really rely on it all the time.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you keep in it?
Ruler, pencil, knife, sandwich, whatever will fit in it. No, just those sort of type things.
Just got images of him pulling out a ham and cheese sandwich covered in sawdust halfway through turning something.
Just some cold meat. Bob Mortimer says, like some slices of ham and stuff.
Leftover Christmas snacks.
Sweaty cheese sandwich.
Chunks of cheese. That's a good idea. Well,
sweaty cheese sandwich.
It don't matter if it goes off either.
No.
Little cheese wheel in wax.
I might have some visitors in the workshop if I leave it in there for a couple of days. I would cheese in my pockets, but
you can just capture them and set them in resin, though, can't you? But that's where you've been going.
That'd be good, actually. It'd be like who's that Aussie geezer who does all the videos and says, "Will this work in resin?" I can't remember his name.
Conway
videos on YouTube.
Ben's Works.
That's it. I haven't seen one where he does like a mouse, and it's still live when he puts it in there. Checking the temperature. Yes, up to 100. Let's pop him in now. So then he'll just knock him out when it's just at that temperature.
Can you imagine what that would do in a pressure pot?
Anyway, so you've got to sew your badge. You're not letting yourself wear your schmuck until you sewed your badges on then? I
just haven't. It's a new thing for me. I've never worn an apron or a smock. I've always had a hoodie on, which a few turners will frown upon because it's still got the danglies on it.
And the open neck and all the crap goes in there.
And then you should see the inside of the pocket, the hoodie pouch. It's just full of it. But then so are my trouser pockets because I wear proper work trousers and all of them are full of sawdust.
The other thing I find really handy is the Velcro on there. So it don't all go up your sleeve. Because
mine's a short sleeve.
When you're normally working, and if I haven't got one on, and it just all gets like if you're turning something like chunky, it just literally just goes all up your sleeve, doesn't it? And it's just to get it all out.
One of the reasons I don't wear mine because it's got pockets in the front and they fill up pretty quick.
Oh right, you sure you're not wearing it back to front? I thought they all had them on the back.
That would be useful with the demonstrations when they put the mic transmitter. But I don't know. I'll test it out. I'll take it for a test drive on the 18th when I'm at Sandon. I think that might be its first run out. I've got a couple of badges to add. I've got the Chestnut Products Hampshire Sheen one and my own to go on. So I'll let you all know. So what else have we been doing? Have you got anything new, either of you, two? New toys for Christmas?
I did buy myself an M33 by 3.5 tailstock
thing.
You said about that, and I'm not entirely sure why. What have you bought it for?
What's the thing first? What thing is it?
Sorry?
What thing is it?
It's just a tailstock on a bearing with an M33 thread.
It allows you to put a chuck on your tailstock.
Yeah, so I put a chuck on the tailstock. And mainly I bought it for two reasons. For putting the glue blocks on a bit more accurately when it's on the other side. Is the main reason. But I also bought a fitting that's got a pressure thing, so it's not a pointy centre. It's like a flat centre, if you like, and it goes onto the M33. I haven't had it yet, and I've been looking for ages because I think that Simon's there up for about 80 quid. And I run into one for like 20 quid, and I thought, I want to have that.
Well, the one that Simon's had at 80 quid is the one-way one.
That's probably stainless as well, I'd imagine.
Didn't bother looking at it.
No.
I was looking at a new live centre while I was in there, which is it's got a big cup, and the picture makes it look quite small, but it's not. It's actually really big for when I'm doing my balls. But Simon's just in production of a new one. I think I sent you a picture while I was there, and that's 150 quid for the initial kit, which comes with 3-star.
It looks good.
It'd be up the wrong end, surely, but apparently it works. But that kit is designed to have half a dozen accessories that he's producing that go with it.
That was the one where when it must have been at Chelmer Valley, because I sort of spoke to him and I said to him about and he said, "Oh, I've got one in production. We're just doing the final testing on it. And it's going to come out and all this sort of stuff." Because I said to him, he does the star drive for the headstock, and then he's talking about tails. He said, "Oh, we've just got one coming out." And then when we had Darren Breeze the other week, he said that he'd been trialing it, and Emma as well, and they both sort of gave him feedback after that the shape of it ain't the greatest, and it sort of gets in the way a little bit. And he was like, oh, maybe I should have come and got you guys to try it out before it went into productions. Apparently, Darren was saying he may change it.
He was saying there are changes being made to it. He's got the star drives and he's keeping the star drives, but it's the other accessories that he's changing that go with it. But with the initial kit at 150 quid, it's certainly a commitment, that one. It looks good.
The headstock one's 110, I think, for that kit, isn't it? Where you get the 3 different sizes.
I'm still thinking
that's 100. Yeah, it's 110. I just use mine in a chuck, and that's it. So it's just like a single size.
So they are designed for MT2 or MT1. So they are designed to go straight in. You're meant to put a thread protector over the top of the threads, but they are designed to go straight into the headstock.
But the idea being is that you just save your time taking your chuck off. So because you've got your chuck on, so you just slip it in the middle of that. That's what I do in mine. So
I saw one of your videos earlier today, Will, where you put the spur drive into a chuck. I haven't done that. It depends what.
The only time I ever do that is for the chuck is actually on the lathe, which is
that's what I was just going to say. If it's on there, you might as well put it in there. If it ain't on there, chuck it straight in.
When I'm swapping between one of 6 chucks all the time, it's because I've got to a stage now where I've got different jaws on the different chucks. Rather than swapping jaws out, I'm swapping the whole chuck out. But so, anything else you guys have been purchasing?
Well, I was going to say, while we're on the subject of new stuff, you got anything new, Garry?
Yeah, I have got
subtle direction.
Just a new lathe. Just happened. It was just I've been keeping an eye out for ages, and then as you do, every now and again you check on Marketplace to see if anything comes up and your timing's right. And it was actually the night before Christmas Eve. It was like Santa was being kind to me and setting me up. I literally came in from the workshop. It was about 11:30 on the night before Christmas Eve. Came in, just had a look on there, and it said just listed, but obviously that must have been within a couple of hours. But it was like a 2-year-old Axminster 406 professional on legs and all that. I was like, oh. And I've been stung before. It's the same as Will's. And it was like, I've been stung before where you go on there and then no one answers you, or it's just up off and all that. So I messaged the guy and said, have you still got this? And I was up for about another hour. I never heard anything back. And then when I woke up on Christmas Eve, he messaged me at 5 a.m. going, yep. I'm moving house basically. I'm getting rid of everything in my workshop, and so that was like Christmas Eve. I was thinking, and when I looked where it was, and for me it was 2.5 hours away near Birmingham, and I was thinking, do I go? Do I try and arrange a courier? Hold on, he's getting rid of everything in his workshop. A few little things to be had here. So I was thinking I should go, and I was thinking I ain't going Christmas Eve. Traffic's going to be a nightmare. Anyway, so he was kind enough. I said, look, I'll just transfer your deposit. And then I'll come on the Friday, which was the day after Boxing Day. So, so I went up there then.
Heavy, isn't it?
Mate, it's unreal. He had it. I said, will you be able to help me get in the car? And he went, yeah. And then when I got there, he got his son-in-law round to help me. And I was 2 hours there just rooting for all his stuff. It was like, oh, you've got an Axminster trade pillar drill there that you're getting rid of. I'll have that. He goes, I've just took I said, you get rid of that? He goes, I'm getting rid of everything. He goes, I just took the photos this morning before you come to put that on Facebook. I went, don't put that on Facebook. Let's have a little chat about that. So I'll have that. And then you got a Rolly Monroe. Oh, you got a couple of those. I'll have that one of those. And another chisel and whatever, bits and bobs. And then he said on his pillar drill, we had it on it wasn't a floor standing one, but it wasn't your shorter desk one. It was the taller one. And he had it on a custom built cupboard thing that he'd made. And he said, you can have that cupboard I made if you want. He goes, I'll just unbolt it. It's all bolted to the wall and all that, but I'll take it all out and then you can have that as well. Then so we're unbolting all that, and then so he's emptying the cupboard and it's full of stuff, and he's got this carrier bag of an Axminster carrier bag, and he's like just looking in it. He goes, shed loads of pin kits, so probably all spares and bits and bobs and whatever. He goes, you can have that if you want. It's like a bag of that. So so I was there for like 2 hours, and then it took me like 3 hours to get back. So I think I left home at 8:30 in the morning, and I'll go home about 4:30, and then it's so heavy I couldn't get out in the motor, so I just leave it. And luckily I got my mate come round the next day, and even though the legs were off it, the bed itself, the tailstock was off, but the headstock was on, and we got it out of my motor, and we was walking down, and it was freezing cold, so it's like cutting in your fingers anyway. With the weight of the headstock, bloody Nora, it's a bit of a slope, and I'm having building work done, so it's mudmungus and whatever down there. Mate, if we go over it, I am not going to be happy. But we managed to get it in there. But it's bloody heavy.
But the question is, do you like it?
I do like it. I just got to get used to the height because I was new to turning a couple of years ago. So the one I've actually had, which is an Axminster 355 thing, that was my first one. And I just dumped that on my bench that I had. So that was my height that I'm used to. And in the big scheme of things, I'm not quite like that, but I'm very high. So to go to this one, it was like the only other time I'd used another one was when I went on that course at Martin Saban Smith's gaff, and then I was thinking, "Yo, this is low," and everyone else is like, "Yeah, it's normal." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I'm sort of getting used to the height. I am getting used to it.
I actually thought the 406. When I got the 406, I was kind of surprised how tall it was. Because the one I had before, it was much shorter. It was more down like at waist height, and this is. It's strange what you get used to. Isn't it?
Go and get some structural 2x4 and raise the lathe up.
I know. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait because I know it's at the right height because it should be your sort of elbow height, and it is the right height. So I want to try and persevere and get used to doing it at that right height. But worst case, I'm going to give it at least a couple of months. And if after a couple of months I'm thinking, no, I definitely want to sort of raise it up, then I'll look at doing it then. But what's not helping is that I rejigged the workshop to sort of like take it because obviously I have my bench and my other one on. And I thought, well, I've got to make space for that because I'm not getting rid of it. So I shifted all that along. And I thought, well, because I've got the different chucks and all that, I can just basically keep that other one and do my crochet hooks on that. So I don't have to keep swapping the chucks out. So I'm still using that. So I'm flitting between the two. So I'm like, I'm up there in 1 minute and then I'm down there. So it's almost like, hold on, do I need to end up sorting it out and getting somewhere in the middle? But yeah, like I say, I'll give it a couple of months to whatever, see how I feel and go from there. But
you always use the little
nice.
one for finishing. It's quite handy to have. Quite like a second one for finishing.
Yeah, no, it's good. I use because my other one doesn't rotate the head or whatever. So I used that the other week for the first time, and I suddenly remembered that he'd done it. And I was like, "Oh, hold on a minute, this is handy. This is handy.
I can put that 16-inch plate blank on there now."
Yeah, it's. I did look as well. You ain't got the bed extension, have you?
No,
because I saw that, and because that you can slot on the lower bit on the end, can't you?
Yeah.
So then you slide the headstock along, and then you've got like the beast of sort of diamonds that you can
do a monster. Yeah.
So I did think like that should be me done now. I don't need another one.
Yeah, I don't think I can't ever see that I would need to do anything bigger than what I already do because it's big enough to do. And if I did do anything that's bigger than that, then that's kind of a niche kind of person that's going to take it anyway.
Yeah, true.
I did a massive 16-inch bowl. Right, and I didn't know what to do there. That was the Morrison delivery driver. He came around. He went, "Oh, I really like that." I said, "Here you go. Here's yours." I had no idea what to do.
Lucky you fit in his hand.
Yeah,
it's good. It was good. It was a fortunate sort of timing, I think, and now, enjoying it so far and just get used to it more. So that was good.
Nice little Christmas present.
Yeah, it was. It was a bit like that.
So you got the pillar drill, the lathe. What was the other bits you bought?
Some chisels. So Monroe one.
What? So I've not heard of that one before.
They're like the hollowing ones with the like the angled knuckles where you can adjust them, like tweak them round.
Yeah, so I've got one of them. I hate it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So it's that one where you're supposed to prevent catches. So it's sort of like you've got that adjustment and you can sort of do it so it's really fine. But they're not supposed to sort of clog up. But I do find that they do clog up a little bit as well.
Once you figured out how to use it, let us know because mine's sitting on the shelf. It looks like a wonderful bit of kit, but I just cannot use it.
No,
I just find it's going to catch all the time. It scares the life out of me. So I'm thinking of selling it, I must admit. Steve's getting my ring tool.
Well, it'd be interesting to see how he gets on with that, won't it?
Yeah.
He doesn't video because we know he doesn't do videoing and all that, but we should say to him, you're not allowed to, the first time you use it, you've got to be videoing.
Yeah.
And you've got to show us all the footage.
Yeah. No practicing.
No.
Great.
Because I again, that's another tool I just can't get along with. So no, that's no. I've got to remember to take that with me on Wednesday. Actually, because I was meant to take it to the committee meeting last week, and with all the palaver with the band breaking down, that didn't happen. So what we've been making, let's get back onto some wood turning. We made anything fancy?
I released a Banksia pod the other day. That went down quite well. It's picking up. I must admit, it's doing quite well.
What did you do with it? What did you make with it?
Filled it full of resin.
Yeah.
Turn it away, kind of turn it into like kind of you wouldn't really call it a goblet. I'm not quite sure what you would call it. Yeah.
So because you've got like a picture of a like Banksia goblet as your backdrop, haven't you?
I do, yeah. See, that's why I did it. I kind of like had in mind that I was going to recreate that, because I did that when that's before the days when I started filming everything. Right. And actually, like it did really well on Instagram at the time.
Yeah.
I had a lot of comments on there, and that's why it's been backdrop, because it's probably the best one that went down on Instagram. So I thought I'll recreate that, but I kind of changed my mind halfway through, and I did. If you remember, I did that little cup thing that was that I did with pistachios, and I kind of just shaped it like that. And it actually is really quite cool. I quite liked it. Anyway, that's doing well. Yeah, that's the one.
That's the new one, or the original one?
That's the new one.
So it was
9 days
colours,
ago.
Yeah. The original one was a similar sort of colour, I thought, like that bluey green.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I'm currently editing my Banksia nut video.
Yeah, what you doing with it, Mark? Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah.
I hate filter. Hang on, let me turn the filter off. There's no argument with me. None. Don't know how well you're going to see it, but I made a little pot.
Yeah.
It's got a shot glass in it. It was meant to be tall enough to fit the shot glass. There we go. I can actually. I've had quite a fair amount of success with glass cutting, so I think I might do that and just bring it down level with the bottom of the rim. But I went with blue.
Yeah, it's nice. What's the finish on it, Mark?
Oh, I copied you guys with the finish on that. I've been listening to you two long enough on this podcast to do
Remember you saying
8 layers. Banksia nuts just suck up the finish. They really do. And it very quickly suck it up as well. But 8 layers of the old spray lacquer on top of that. But I got the finish good enough because I don't have the fancy buffing kits that you guys have got. So it's not been polished. That's off the can.
Oh yeah,
and I'm really quite happy with it.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah,
but that video is scheduled. Once I finish editing it, that one should go out in around this time in February. I'm hoping.
Yeah, cool.
Be uploaded. But my latest video hasn't done quite as well. But the 2 previous to it, that sycamore flower ornament that won me the trophy in December,
remember.
And the big coloured platter, the sunset platter I did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the flower ornament's done just over 2,000 views, and the wood pile to platter is 2,875.
Yeah, nice.
On what, Insta or YouTube?
That's YouTube. That's YouTube. And actually, my latest video was released a couple of days ago, and in the last 48 hours, that's had 108 views, whereas the wood pile to platters had 225. So it's still performing better than my latest release. Now, I've got a question on while we're quickly on this subject. The Facebook analytics, it says watch time, but it doesn't actually tell you what that is. Is that minutes, hours, what?
Well, if I look at mine, it's days. And the only reason I say that because I looked earlier, and last month was 2,225 days or something.
Well, my segmented plate, which was the latest one, has had 447 watch time. But the wood pile to platter is 1,000 watch time. But it doesn't give you any context whether that's minutes or seconds. I don't know.
Is that on Facebook?
That's Facebook,
or Meta Business Suite.
Meta Business Suite. I don't know how to. I don't access Facebook other than the Meta Suite because I haven't been releasing them to Instagram. I've just done them to YouTube and Facebook. I'm now monetized on Facebook for what do they call them? Stars? Is it what they call them?
Stars. Yeah,
stars.
Mm-hmm.
I went to check. in-stream ads, and they've changed it.
They have.
And it's invitation only.
Yes.
And
that's always been like that, in all fairness.
Oh, well, it's now saying learn more, and I can't get to see if I'm eligible or anything. And that's the same with branded content. I can't see.
No, you have to be invited in now.
Oh, it's just bollocks.
I remember you saying that before, Will, about that they changed it, and that was one. I think that media company said, wasn't it, or something? And obviously they were happy that you were already in.
So I was doing mine when David was doing Craft Open. We were kind of at the same stage, and I got through and got accepted, and he didn't. He went for months. It went on for about another 2 or 3 months before he got accepted.
All right.
So I'm looking at my watch time, and I tell a lie. It's 2,588 days and 9 hours.
Days on one video.
No, that's total for the month.
Surely the number itself should be a bit of giveaways. How many did you all say, Mark? Thousands. You're in the thousands.
1,000.
Well, even that's probably, it's not going to be a days then, is it? I can't believe you don't put it in brackets.
No.
YouTube does it, doesn't it? It says it's got hours next to it in bracket. Watch time, it says hours in brackets.
But I'm looking at the insights on Meta Business Suite now, and I clearly get watch time in hours and days.
So watch time, it doesn't give me any information. I hover over that. It just says the amount of time that your reel was played for, including any time spent replaying. But it doesn't actually tell you.
Right. If you go up to, see on the left-hand side, to Insights, which is your 3 bars, which you don't have. That's weird. Oh, yours is different to mine. Maybe you need to put it on.
Interactions, impressions, paid. No, I've got no insights there.
Oh, that's mine has much more stuff on it than.
I don't know.
Yes, you don't have that tab at all, do you? I don't know then.
I go into it, then it tells me reach, comments, reel plays. Oh, there we go. Watch time.
Minutes. Hours and
watch
minutes.
time. So 7 hours, 27 minutes for that one.
There you go.
And that's the segmented one. And where's the other one gone? Scroll down. That's the problem with Meta Business Suite. The amount that, because it's Instagram as well.
Yeah, see, I only post to Facebook.
17 hours for that one, which is really good for me. Actually, it's not the same level as you, but
no, but as long as it's growing, it doesn't matter.
It has with those two. It's
everything should kind of grow tenfold.
I'm just under 1,000 followers on that one now, so it's slowly getting there. Stop doing that.
I find I went all the effort to edit a video and put it on YouTube, and literally within the first week, I was like probably off 20. Oh my God, you're having a laugh, right? Then I went to the effort of tweaking it a bit, putting it on Instagram, and then it got something like 8,000 on Instagram. It's like, oh, it's so annoying. It's picking up a little bit now on YouTube now. That's that month. That's up to like 380 now.
I've got some old stuff on YouTube that's picked up recently, so I don't know whether they've changed the algorithm.
We know what you were saying, Will, about Facebook preferring videos made for that platform. Yes. The sycamore flower wasn't made for that platform. It was just dumped on there. It's the same video as YouTube.
Yeah.
And that's done virtually nothing. It's 149 people it's got out.
Yeah, I'm completely surprised, I must admit.
Re-editing for a certain platform is so annoying, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, time-consuming.
DaVinci makes it reasonably easy, I must admit. I've found DaVinci, now I've sort of got this new computer, I can play with proper software. DaVinci has been very, very good. I haven't had any copyright flags for the new stuff, nothing like that. So I'm very happy.
It's more the fact that Instagram is really portrait and YouTube is like landscape. So even though on YouTube you can do that thing where you can create a video and then say create a short from this video, it's still going to chop it and it looks shocking because it's sort of cutting so much out. So it's you're better off re-editing it yourself, and then it's like Jesus, I'm going through all that again.
I'm re-editing for Facebook because Facebook's that same orientation, isn't it, as Instagram? Yeah, it's the tool portrait because it's designed to be viewed on phones rather than on a computer screen or a telly, whereas YouTube is telly and computer based. I am re-editing it. I'm also doubling the speed, so it's half the length of the video. It basically a video is taking twice as long because you need to put it out onto 2 platforms.
It's not just about doubling the speed. I'll I'll cut chunks out of it on the Instagram. Where on Instagram, I'm trying to get it down to 90 seconds. And from like I've done recently, it was 6 minutes on YouTube. So it was almost like you're trying to, and I can't just speed it up to fit that in because it's like, oh, you can't see nothing. And you almost want to come right down slow. So if you're just rotating it around a little bit so you can actually see it and then speed it back up again. So it's like I sort of go through and actually edit chunks out and go, oh, just lose a load of sanding stuff or something like that.
If you've already taken a piece, something like that monkey puzzle, that wouldn't have taken an hour. You're talking 3 or 4 hours worth of footage.
Oh, to get it down to the 6 minutes in the first place.
Ready. And then to bring it down to... That's why Facebook doesn't have that sort of restriction. You can go as long as you like on Facebook. So just doubling the speed with the same amount of footage, that makes it easier. And I just don't think I'm going to bother with Instagram. I'm just going to carry on doing what I've been doing and just where I rotate it at the end up on there. Because
I dropped Instagram completely. You can't do 2 of them is enough properly anyway. One and Instagram had to go because at the end of the day, it doesn't pay you.
Not at the moment. No. There are rumours it will start though. There's a new social media out, isn't there? Blue something or other.
That would be for the men, man. You can't be putting things on there. Here's a new butt plug I turn.
Honest, it's a mushroom. Don't ban me again, Instagram. No, something about TikTok's been banned in America or something.
They were trying to, weren't they?
I don't really understand. I haven't actually read it properly, but it's just flashed up on Facebook, and there's a couple of new social medias because of it. So I can't get on with Threads.
No, so I have used Threads, and the only thing I've ever done on there is post YouTube links.
Tell you what we don't have. We've got Instagram. We don't have a Facebook page.
Who's we?
Us, the 3 of us, as in podcast.
That's true.
We need to get that sorted.
I don't have one full stop.
Need to think about that one.
Yeah.
You reached out the other day, didn't you, Garry? You need to do that someone. Set you up.
No worries. I done a monkey puzzle recently. Talking about the videos. I actually turned project wise. So I picked up a bit ages ago and finally got around to doing it. And it was I didn't realise. I got told ages ago that on monkey puzzle it grow when the branches come out, they all grow round at the same level. So you actually sort of get a group of them. So it's quite effective. And then I sawed the knuckles off, and they came out quite a nice pattern. It almost looked like little flower heads all going all the way around, and there were 6 of them around it. And I was going to turn it, so I was going to have it up like a vase upside down. But then when I saw those, they would have been like the bottom facing down. So I thought, I need to try and flip them round. And so I done the outside and whatever first, and oh my god, it turned. I know what you mean, Will, about the actual sort of like the knots and the knuckles. Yeah, they were the actual rest of it. It was so smooth. It was literally like porcelain, right? And I didn't even put a finish on it. It was so smooth. It was unbelievable. And then I was sort of like thinking, okay, I've got to do the inside. And then I've not done loads of that big hollowing. And I know obviously you've got your Simon Oak hollowing rig thing, which is the size of an oil rig. But I've got all these different tools, and all I seem to do is sort of like, let's try this one, let's try this one, let's try this one. Oh, let's go back to that one, and let's try this one. And you just gradually sort of like, work your way through them, and you suddenly think, oh, I'm getting in there a bit now. So yeah, but then I took enough weight out of it to think, okay, that's sort of deep enough, so it's got a little bit of weight in the bottom still. Yeah, I was quite pleased in the end how it came out.
I did. I saw the video and that was nice. Yeah, it came out nice. I kind of like that little shape you put into it as well. I can't know what you'd call it. The kind of the undercut bit.
Yeah.
Oh, when you've got if I thought, oh, he's just given up trying to do the rest of that. He's just like, no, fuck this shit off. I'm not doing it anymore.
Well, when you think that shape's quite nice on that bit, right? And then you get down there and you think, I don't know if I want to touch that bit anymore. Let's put a little, okay.
A little bit of detailing in it.
You're probably pretty much on the ball there, Mark, in relation to... I think it looked quite nice. It almost looked like the top bit sat in the bottom bit.
Yeah, I really liked it. I must have...
Yeah. I love the colours of Monkey Puzzle as well. Monkey Puzzle has those lovely markings in it. But no, the end result was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, and the black, all of that black sort of like, when you're actually taking the bark off, it's almost like fur, isn't it? The black, it's almost like a bit of inside of Banksy and that. And when you look at that, it still leaves some of those markings on it, the black stuff, but it almost looked like wispy and whatever. It did come out really nice. And when I'd done the inside, I'd done the neck and the neck was a lot more sort of shaped on the inside than it was on the outside. So then I thought, well, I'm going to take the outside in, so to give that more of a shape around it. So, and it was one of those things. I think, do I go at that again? And I thought, no, it needs it. And I was pleased with how it come out actually. And
did you get the wood from? It's a fair old lump.
Well, yeah, I've got another bit of that as well.
Oh,
it was at the Sand and Wood Club. They had a whole load of it.
Yeah, I did, and I got 3 yarn bowls out of my bit. Yeah, no, he has some big bits that bloke dropped off there.
They were like big chunks like that. So I got another one like that as well.
So were you selling this one, or were you? They weren't badly priced, to be fair.
Oh, mate, 10 quid.
I know. I'm up there on the 18th, so if he's got any left, I am tempted to grab some.
He ain't. He's cut it all up now. He's cut it all into chunks. You might be able to use it for yarn bowls, though, because they're like smaller chunks like that.
Yeah, maybe. I do tend to spend a bit of money up there. So I didn't know if you were going to keep this one, because it's absolutely stunning. So I didn't know if your wife had half-inched it and thought that will look good with some flowers in it.
She definitely likes it, so it's on the windowsill or whatever at the moment. But you know what it's like, even if they like one for a while, over time, it gets bored, or they get bored of it. And it's more about, for me, the weight of them. Because if I'm gonna put it up on my Etsy or whatever, it's like, where do I want to let it go worldwide and look at the weight, or do I just say no, sod it, I'm just doing it UK only?
Yeah.
And I just ain't got around to weighing it. But like I say, at the end of the day, at the moment, it's out on show, so it won't go up yet. No doubt.
It is a lovely piece, that one. Yeah.
It's good. No resin as well.
Yes. Yeah. And no paint.
Yeah. You're right. It was quite nice to just think, I'm just going to do the wood, which I haven't done for a while.
I saw one of, I don't know if it was a new one from Will or a relatively new one, but Will, on the Facebook feed, there was just a plain wood one from Will as well today. Might have been the other day.
Probably an old one, that, you know. I would do more wood. It's just I don't really have wood.
all of Will's wood is
rubbish.
All of Will's wood is Masai Burr and Marley Burl and
he's no, he is. So I do have some big chunks still dry, but
I've thrown a load in the fire pile today.
Oh, have you?
I went through my wood store because I had a load that I picked up between just before Christmas, a load of sycamore and some ash, and I hadn't processed it, so I got around to doing that. Went to find a home for it in the wood store. Thought, well, I've got to move stuff around, and a load of the cherry that I processed back in May has split itself to pieces. Can't be used, not even with resin. It's still sitting at like 30% moisture content, so it's still got more to go. So that's gone for fuel, unfortunately. Some of the pieces are 16 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
I deliberately kept them big. So, it's a shame. But cherry and plum do that. If you've got to be quite careful with how you dry cherry and plum.
Yeah, I've got a load of cherry that's just cracked to high heaven. Which is great.
For you.
That's what I wanted.
Maybe I should keep a load of it back just to bring to you.
Yeah.
There's a guy, I can't remember his name. You'll know he is when I describe him. When he does all his videos, he's got a really clean workshop, and he looks like he's got a big bench and nothing else on it. He's just doing the one project, and he always wears like a sort of like a black sort of schmuck that almost looks like a work shirt, but it's long. And he's got a beard. I don't know if he's...
Oh, yeah. Is that Square and Level?
Yeah, that's it. Something like that. Yeah, him, right?
Yeah.
And he done a great one where he had a bit that was like split, but then he forced the split even more and then put dividers in it. So it was almost like in like pizza slices, like, and then he sort of filled that with resin. But then when he turned it the other way around on the side. So when you saw it from the side, it was almost like you had this sort of star-like effect of the resin going through rings. And I've got it on my board down there, so I'm going to do that at some point because I'm going to have a bit that will be like that. And it was really effective, the fact that he sort of done it that way, but then turned it the other way. Yeah, so you had all the sort of like the central rings and whatever actually on the side.
Guys,
no,
stupid filter. No, it's right.
Yeah. But he does some good stuff actually, that guy.
Yeah, I actually haven't watched his channel for a bit, so I'll go through that at the weekend.
I think I definitely need to start photoshopping some proper thumbnails. I think looking at his ones.
Yeah,
I started doing that on some of those videos because it lets you on YouTube. You can capture a frame, and then it just takes you into this thing, doesn't it? About like putting in your text, and it's got all these different fonts and all that. I've done it on my last few actually to try and all that rubbish when people just put like I put about can you solve the monkey puzzle or something like that just to try a little grab. But yeah, it looks quite effective. And when you see it and you've done it, and then you see all the other stuff that's on there, you think, oh, okay, yeah, that's not a bad little thing just to make it pop out a little bit.
Actually, I tried some thumbnails today for the Woodturning Podcast, different ones. I thought we'll just give them a go, and I'll put them in the A/B tests and mix them about and see what happens.
Oh, nice.
I'll send them, they come out right. It's just normal. I just do it on AI, and actually some of them come out. And I thought, well, actually,
I've got a little bit actually. I've got it here.
Is that when you can't sellotape the banana to the thing?
Did you see that? Did you?
That's a little experiment.
My kids would not be happy. Child, I only have one. My child would not be happy if I start taking his Lego off of him and start putting it in resin.
Don't tell him.
And I'm not using my Lego.
That's expensive.
Oh, you don't need to tell me.
What did you find about? I know, obviously, I'll put it in a pressure pot still, but where maybe because I had so much in it, it didn't get through every little hole and nick. So it's sort of like as you're turning, you might get a tiny little hole, and you go, oh, and then yours was all right, was it?
No, it's perfect. I put mine through the vacuum chamber.
Right.
I always put clear through the vacuum chamber, regardless, for the pressure pot.
What's that doing then that the pressure pot's not doing?
Sucking all the air out and replacing it with epoxy, effectively.
Oh, is it? So the pressure pot not pushing it into all the holes. That's what I thought that was doing.
No, the pressure pot just squeezes the air bubbles so they can't be seen by the naked eye. But if you've got any big pockets in there, can't do that. So the vacuum chamber will just take them out, those big pockets.
Gotcha.
I started turning that failed one. That one I showed you guys that boiled and hit 200 odd degrees. It's not good. It's not. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, yeah, go get it. That was proper smoking.
Yeah, it was. So do you put yours through or every time you do something, you put it through both processes if it's going to go in?
Only if I'm doing clear, or that's not true. If I'm doing clear, always goes through the vacuum chamber before the pressure pot. And if I'm doing something where it's got a lot of air in it, then I'll put it in I'll put it in the vacuum chamber as well.
Right. Oh, interesting.
And
they're not as expensive as the vacuum chambers as the pressure pots.
No, they're reasonably expensive. So it's not the size of the pot. Oh, sorry.
It's what you do with it that counts.
Yeah, I actually got mine imported from America because I couldn't find anything big enough that you could buy in the UK. And it's the pump that's expensive. It was £100 for the pump. I think it was another couple of £100 for the pot. And then you can buy pots where it's got different lids so that if you get the epoxy on it, it doesn't blow up and things like that. And so I just went for a decent one, if you see what I mean.
Right.
Once you start with vacuum chambers, you can start doing the stabilised resin. So if you've got a piece of spalted beech, or you can add the thinner heat curing resin.
Yep.
Put some colour into that, and you can turn spalted beech whatever colour you want.
Yep.
Some of the effects. Like if you've got something like curly maple or something like that, you can add some colour to that as well. It comes out really stunning.
Yep.
So this has had a flood coat. Sure how well you're going to see it.
It doesn't look too bad. That's quite bad, isn't it?
That's going to take a lot of super glue to fill those in.
I'm not going to bother. This is not being finished. I've deleted the footage already to free up space. It's just...
could you cast back over it?
No, it's cracked to the core as well. There are some really big cracks in it. Let's see if I can... Where my finger is there. That crack goes all the way down to the bottom.
It's quite a big plate, though, isn't it? Is that 24-hour epoxy on that, is it? I guess that's like up to 200 degrees.
It was poured in a cold workshop, so I didn't expect it to do it. But the Epodex cold pour stuff says it will go up to an inch thick.
Cold pour?
Quick set, sorry. The shallow pour, the quick set stuff. So, and I thought to myself, well, it ain't that deep really, because it's got all the pine cones in it. I didn't expect it to react because there's not 20 mil between each piece.
But I guess it's got nothing for the heat to absorb on either.
No, not a great time of year for resin, is it? I went in my workshop the other day and I said, I'm going to do something. It was 6 degrees. No, not
I'm actually looking at my pressure pot at the moment because I bought it in, stuck it next to the radiator. It's in the front room right now. It's right in front of me.
I done something here in the end, right? Because I was thinking it ain't going to survive out there. And I was thinking, I'll put it on the old lipped silicon mat, so if it did come out, it would be there. Yeah. And I'd done it one night before I went to bed, and I was almost having dreams, thinking, shit, I better not go in there. Imagine if it's come all out, gone over the lid, off the edge of the desk, onto the carpet. I was thinking, oh my God, it was just stressing me out. So can you imagine coming back in to see that? It's like, oh my God. And I was so relieved. And I come in and it hadn't even leaked at all. And I was thinking, oh, thank God for that.
I've got the other pine cone plate that I will finish. That didn't have any problems at all. So I've still got 2 more full-length resin videos ready to go. But I'm basically out of resin now and I can't be bothered to buy any more.
I bought some the other night, actually. It was ridiculous. I started doing the Star Wars Lego thing and I've done half of it and I've used all my deep pour and I need to get some more. And I bit the bullet. I found I still had a 20% discount on that mold resin. I thought, I wonder if that's still going to be active. So I put it in there and it was. I thought, right. So their options on deep pour is 3 litres or the next one up is 12. Oh no, because it's 20%. You think, well, I'm going to save loads on the 12 litre. Forget it's going to cost me loads, but I'm going to save loads. And it was what should I do? And I think it was Friday night actually, and I'd had a few beers, so idiot went for 12, didn't I?
Oh, did you? Yeah. How much was it? Must be a good cut of £100, I would have thought.
140.
Oh, that's not bad.
The concept of buying resin, don't you, Will? Do you know about buying resin?
Well, actually, you have reminded me. I do need to order up some more resin. Let's send myself an email. I've only got a couple of gallons left.
Us a couple of gallons left. Us commoners have to scrimp and save for this expense.
It won't be long and your channels will get noticed. Don't worry.
I did try, because I'd had a beer, I tried tapping up Patrick at Mould Resin. So to him, oh, hello, mate, how's it going? You had a good Christmas and all that, blah, blah, blah. How you feeling? You feeling in a generous mood on a Friday evening? Hello, mate, how you doing? I was thinking, this sounding positive. Oh, I'm really sorry. Well, okay. All right, I'll buy some, don't worry.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get there and then the whole fad for resin will be done with. And we won't.
So, mate, that's not going nowhere, that fad.
No, I think I'm going to take my resin to the extreme, I think.
You're going to put a live mouse in it. You're going to resin the missus.
That's a good idea, yeah. Only a mouse.
Do the whole head and then turn that bit away so it's just a mouth left.
Because he edits this, none of that will be in the live pod.
No, it will. Unless AI takes it out, that's it. I don't have to look at this anymore. So
let's talk about, just briefly before we go for the evening, let's talk about this 3D printed resin thing, because Garry was a bit confused earlier about what you're going to do with it.
Very good shout. I was very confused. You two seem to be exactly on the same page, knew exactly what it was about. I could not work it out.
Oh, really? It's probably easier to show you because I've got it here.
While you're finding it, let me explain what I saw, right? So I saw something to start with that was the 3D print shape of a vase, right? That just looked like, obviously 3-dimensional, but it just looked like one layer, as if it was made of cardboard or something like that, and it was just one thin layer like that. But then when I saw the bit with the resin and the purple and green, that looked like I was looking down on the top on a rim, right? And I was looking down, so I couldn't work out if what I thought was a single side was actually double-sided and you'd poured resin in between. And when you were saying you was putting top and bottom with wood, I was thinking, what am I missing here?
It's much simpler than that. You're massively over confusing.
There's no surprising me there.
So hopefully you should be able to see. So this is my casting bucket. And what I did was I started with, because I don't know whether I was a mechanical designer for 15 years, so I can model.
Right.
And had an opportunity, or somebody at work said, I'm getting a new 3D printer. Do you want mine? Because they overheard me saying, do you know what, I'm going to have to really get a 3D printer. And they just come in with it one day and said, there you go, there's a 3D printer. What a touch. Because the guys at Creatality, they reached out, if you remember.
Yep.
Said, do you want a laser or a 3D printer? Okay, yeah, that'd be good. Never heard anything since, so no idea whether that's going or not.
You'll just have a laser turn up at your doorstep one day.
And I thought, because I know how to model, then really I ought to turn it to my advantage.
Yep.
And the main reason for getting a 3D printer is because I keep getting moaned at on YouTube and Facebook for like wasting so much resin. But the thing is, what they don't know is that resin's free. Everyone knows that. So it's actually costing me more to do this, which is kind of annoying. So I just drew my bucket just so I knew roughly what size, and I created this little insert. And if I chop it up.
So it is the channels. I was thinking, is that...
So what I thought is I would just, hopefully you can see this.
Yep.
So I'll create something that looks like the shape of a vase, and I'll cut it into segments, and I'll have those segments going all the way through it, and I'll fill those segments with resin. Yep. And then what I'll do is I'll glue a block on the bottom of here, and then I'll glue like a cap to the top, and we'll call it a vase. And that's what I'm going to do.
So what the separators, like of each channel, those little bits, right? So what, they're going to remain in it?
They'll stay in there. So you'll see each colour and then a black like separator between it all. Obviously, the inside and outside will come off because I'll turn that away. And then you should just see the resin that's been channeled with a bit of wood on the bottom and a bit of wood on the top.
Gotcha. Nice.
And we'll just see how that goes, because there's quite a lot I can do with.
So the bit of wood you showed us, the bit of wood you showed us in the picture, which is a very large piece of wood for the bottom of that vase.
It's a bit of yew. It's probably about 3 inches thick. So I cut an inch off, and that I'll use for the top. And then I've got a couple of inches down the bottom.
So that's not glued to the bottom of that then? That
is glued at the moment.
But only with hot melt or whatever?
Only with epoxy.
Right.
And then so I have a black bit down the bottom, and I'm kind of, what do I do with the top? Because I could just put a 2mm like undercut into the top, and then what I thought was I'd get some black epoxy putty and then put that round there, or I could leave it plain, or I could even turn both bits away and then like put white in it or something. I'll work that out once I've done it, once it comes out. Because otherwise you're going to see a 2mm thick, you're definitely going to see a 2mm thick layer down the bottom.
Can you not grab this in the cold jaws, turn the bottom off, then glue the wood to the bottom so you don't get that 3D print?
Could.
And then because you've now got the reverse chuck, you can chuck that bit of wood up and then swap the ends and whatever else. Yeah. Centralise that.
That's one of the other reasons for buying that tailstock. Just so I can hold it both sides.
Because that way you can...
Sorry, why would you need to put a bit of wood on the top? Because if you're putting a bit of wood on the top, it'll be like a ring around the top, right? And you wouldn't see the tops of each of the channels of resin, right?
No, that is true.
Because I think that might add to it. So if I'm having wood top and bottom, and then you're just going to have these black, orange and blue channels running up the side holding the bits of wood together.
I just thought when I saw that picture of it from the top, when you're looking down on them, right, which is what we saw, wasn't it, like that?
Yeah.
I just thought that looked really cool. But now what you're talking about is putting a bit of wood on top of that, so you're just going to see the vertical stripes of the colour.
Yeah, it would be something like...
What I'd be interested to see is if you take the top, I don't know, say 20mm off the top of that vase you've made, off the top of that... what you've made already, take the top 20mm and attach that to a wooden vase. So we do the insert channels, don't we? Get a bit of wood, cut the channel, fill the channel with resin, gluing, using that as your insert.
Maybe.
Getting 2 for 1.
Or just make another one. It's because free resin.
So when I modelled it and I filmed it when I was modelling it, so I'll just have that going up in the like one of the corners or something, because it might kind of like keep people watching for a bit.
A few of the YouTubers I watch, they show how they model things on.
Oh, do they? Interesting. I don't think I'll follow anybody that does that.
Well, they then sell the plans as well.
Okay, yeah.
They're furniture rather than turners. They're that sort of DIY carpenters type thing. But they sell the plans as well. So you could potentially sell the plans for that on somewhere like Etsy, because you can sell digital plans or wherever.
Yeah, I never thought about that.
So you've modelled it, and if you sell the plans for, say, £5 a plan,
Or customise it for 10 quid a plan.
You know, customise it for 10 or whatever.
Only one dimension I've got to change, and everything will change around it.
But you could sell that as a... Because I've got 3D printer. I could buy that file for a fiver.
No, exactly.
You could put pine cones down each little flute, and then
pine cones can fuck off.
So the one you saw the other day is a test one, but I've got lots of things up my sleeve that I could poke down in. And obviously I can have different shapes. I can have shapes that you wouldn't normally be able to turn. No. Because I can print them, if you see what I mean.
You could put skulls running down. If you want to do a Halloween one, you could have each channel a different shape for the Halloween thing. Because that's the versatility of the 3D printers.
Yeah.
I 3D printed some pen blanks when I first got the printer, because I got the printer to help me with the turning. And the pen blanks have all sorts of different patterns down the length of them. You fill that with resin, turn the outer away, and you're left with a really funky resin pen. Resin and that's when I found out about the wall thickness and things, because I had one that leaked.
So I did. I actually didn't seal this, and I didn't seal it because I've done quite a lot of these for David. And I asked him a little while ago if he had ever had any of them leak, and he said no, he hasn't. So I thought, you know what, I won't. And it looked pretty good going into the pot, that's for certain. Whether it's like that when it comes out in a couple of days, not.
So is that in the pressure? Is that what's in the pressure pot?
That's what's in the that's what's in the pressure pot that's sitting next to the radiator right now.
So just quickly, have you 3D printed the cock and bollocks yet?
No, I haven't. No.
Come on, Ferraris and all that stuff.
I did look on Thingiverse.
Right, I'll look on Etsy and see if anyone's selling plans for cock and bollocks.
The other thing you can 3D print are the blanks to then make resin molds for those of us that use them. So,
right.
One last question about the 3D printing and resin. I had a concern when I did it about the heat build-up. So I take it you're using the slow set so it doesn't get too hot to then melt the 3D print.
Yeah.
Because 3D print melts at a lower temperature.
It does,
And the resin can set at these higher temperatures.
Certainly if you get it above 200 degrees.
Yes,
he's deep cast, and that's one of the reasons I bought the potty, because actually there's not that much epoxy in there. There's only it's about 500 mil, it's half a litre. It's not very big, not a lot for a deep cast. But then when you look at it, so if I was like that, normally I would have shoved in 3.5 litres of epoxy. That's quite a big saving. So if that attracts like viewers, then happy days. It cost me like extra few quid in filament, but
David puts another cup inside occasionally, doesn't he? Or you put a lump of wood in the middle.
So those cups that you put in, that's what they're the ones that I did for him. So I knew what he was using. Well, I know exactly what he's using because I got the files on my PC, and he hasn't had any issues with leaking.
Well, he's not that old yet, is he? So
no, true. No,
right. True. Then, gents, call that a night.
Good length, yeah, indeed.
So we're going to do this again in 2 weeks.
Yes, let's do that. Yeah.
We'll leave you to sort that out. Okie dokie. Well, have a good next couple of days, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
All right, fellas.
All right. Nice one.
Cheers. Take, guys. Cheers for that.
Yeah. All right.